What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Jermall Charlo. Get this. Jermall Charlo open to facing Terrence Crawford at 154. Crawford reacts. Middleweight champion Jermall Charlo is still waiting to land a career-defining fight, and he's open to dropping down and weight in order for it to become a reality. The 160-pound WBC crown holder Charlo recently suffered a back injury on his June 18th title defense against Makai Sulecki in Houston, so it was postponed. It is not clear when Charlo, which is 32-0-22, will return to the ring. Once he's healthy, he's open to playing the long game if it means facing one of the sport's top pound-for-pound stars. Terrence Crawford, he said, I'll fight him. He said, the last stand with Brian Custer, he said, I'll fight you, Terrence. I'll come back down to 154 to fight Terrence Crawford. Crawford caught wind of Charlo's remarks and fired back on Twitter saying, "You coming down to fight me at 154? Crying emoji. Bro, I know you would. I believe you too. But your brother is still a pussy." Wow. He said, y'all haven't seen that Terrence Crawford isn't versatile like you think. Them Texas boys are different. It's hot in Texas. We're different, said Charlo. All that don't matter. It's a fight. A fight is going to break out. So we have some back and forth between Jermall Charlo and Terrence Bud Crawford. Let me counterpunch. That sounds good if Jermall Charlo was by himself. If he didn't have a twin brother that already was the undisputed champion at 154. See, I'm assuming that Jermall Charlo is saying that I would drop down 6 pounds to fight Terrence Crawford when Terrence Crawford beats Errol Spence, if Errol Spence fights him, when he goes up to fight Jermell Charlo and beats Jermell Charlo. Then Jermall Charlo can come back down and fight Terrence Crawford. Kind of like the big brother taking up arms for the little brother that just got defeated by the bully, right? So he wants to avenge his loss. That's the only way that would make sense to me. But for him just saying, hey, I'll drop down 6 pounds for you to fight you, well, why would you need to drop down to 6 pounds if you already said that your brother Jermell is too big for Terrence Crawford? You know, that's a contradicting statement. Well, my brother's too big for you. He'll beat your ass. Stay where you're at, please. He's too big for you. Stay in your lane. Then you went from that to, I'll come down to 154 pounds and I'll fight you. You know, and then it just makes Terrence Crawford's statement look more reliable, because it's like, well, your brother's still a pussy, because it's assumed that he's saying that because Jermell Charlo won't fight him. But I will say this, if Terrence Crawford beats Errol Spence, I think Jermell Charlo would be more concerned about fighting Terrence Crawford than should anybody else, because I think he should avenge, his stablemate. Just like Teofimo is trying to get revenge on Tank Davis for Rolly Romero being knocked out, right? I think that he should have that same mindset. You knocked out my friend Errol Spence for whatever reason. You were better, or you were better on the night. Whatever happened, you beat him. So now I have to fight you to avenge the loss of my stablemate. That's how I would look at that. So if Terrence Crawford did beat Errol Spence, that should be the next go-to fight that we should start looking at. Yeah, the super fight's over at welterweight. Now it's time for these classic Hall of Famers to move up in weight. Or should I say Hall of Famer? Because Terrence Crawford is a Hall of Famer, make no doubt about it. He just hasn't been inducted yet. So it's just interesting to see Jermall call out somebody that Jermell should be calling out. And if I'm Jermell Charlo, I should be looking at it like, no, big bro, I got this. Don't worry about it. You stay where you at. You stay at 160. I'm going to stay and dominate 154. And if he wants to come to 154, I'm going to tax that ass. But I won't go down to 147 to fight him. He's going to have to come to 154 because I'm the king in this division. That's the type of mindset that Jermell Charlo should say. So for him not saying anything and allowing his brother to say that, that just sounds like a head scratcher to me. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Jermall Charlo willing to come down to 154 to fight Terrence Bud Crawford, the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.